This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. More people are headed back to work. The Labor Department says the economy added 916,000 jobs in March. That blows past expectations after 675,000 new positions the month before. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
As the economy opened up and more people became vaccinated, the leisure and hospitality industries did quite well, adding 280,000 jobs. Most of those gains, about 2/3 of which were in food services and drinking establishments.
Unemployment fell in March to 6%. It was at 6.2 in February. Economists expect even more improvements as vaccinations ramp up, kids head back to classrooms, and more parents return to work. More COVID vaccine shots will be headed to towns and cities across the country after the FDA granted Moderna permission to put 50% more vaccine in its vials. CBS's Cammie McCormick says another vaccine manufacturer has started testing younger Americans.
Johnson & Johnson says it's begun vaccinating adolescents in an ongoing trial. The trial initially focused on adults, but it's now being expanded to those 12 to 17. It's looking at dose levels and how often to administer them. The study will start off small, but the company says in the future, it hopes to expand the testing to include younger children.
Pfizer has already begun testing in younger kids. Tragedy in Taiwan. At least 48 people have been killed, dozens injured after a driverless truck accidentally slid into a passenger train as it headed into a tunnel. Images from the scene show survivors carrying luggage as they escape from crumpled cars. There's new information about a Justice Department investigation into Florida's Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz and alleged sexual misconduct involving one girl as young as 17. Correspondent Catherine Herridge on details in a New York Times report.
According to the Times, the encounters with the women took place in 2019 and 2020. Investigators believe it was one of Gaetz's associates, former county tax collector Joel Greenberg, who recruited multiple women online and introduced them to the congressman. The Times sources allege Gaetz used the drug ecstasy before having sex.
Hunter Biden is opening up about a crack addiction and the day his family staged an intervention. The president's son tells our Anthony Mason.
I tried to go to my car, and my girls literally blocked the door of my car. She said, Dad, please, you can't, no. And he grabbed me in a hug. He grabbed me, give me a bear hug.
Biden discusses more of what's in his new memoir Monday on CBS This Morning. This is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over 39 years, I bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. COVID environment. We buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, license, or other costly entanglements, and build big cash flow and huge wealth without the hassle of tenants, and all without using credit and little or no money. Go to ronsfreetraining.com and I'll send you my free training and show you how it's done. Promise I'll open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. That's ronsfreetraining.com, and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's ronsfreetraining.com.
Go to ronsfreetraining.com today to learn how you can buy and sell homes with little or no money. Go to ronsfreetraining.com and sign up today. That's ronsfreetraining.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Frankenmuth Aerial Park. You were going to get a pass for only $19.50. It's usually $39. You are getting it half off. It includes a 2-hour weekday or weekend session. And if you've never been to the Frankenmuth Aerial Park, they have something for everyone. Something fun and new to try. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
the 100.5 and 790 newsroom. This is WSGW News. It's 27 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Dave Maurer. Michigan has reported the state's first confirmed case of a Brazilian coronavirus variant. Lynn Sutphin, a spokesperson for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, says a Bay County resident was found to be infected with a P1 variant.
They're investigating the person's exposure history, and they're attempting to identify, the source of this infection. They'll also confirm that they've, completed the appropriate isolation measures, and then obviously recontacting identified contacts and requiring them to do a full 14-day quarantine period.
The variant appears to be more contagious than other strains, and there are concerns it might affect both vaccine-induced and natural immunity. Bay County health officials were joined by U.S. Congressman Dan Kildee at yesterday's COVID-19 vaccination clinic at Delta College. WSGW's Rick Antonio was there and has this report.
At the clinic, Kildee was shown the entire vaccination process, from cold storage to handling by the health department and Delta nursing program leaders and nurses to inoculation of a participating driver. He says the people stopping by Delta to get their shots are looking out for more than just their own well-being. The stop allowed Bay County Health Director Joel Strauss and Delta College President Gene Goodnow to share the progress of previous events, averaging anywhere from 700 to 1,000 shots per clinic, and learn more on the recently passed American Rescue Plan, which will provide more than $20 billion nationally to improve vaccine distribution. Rick Antonio, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
With the recent increase in Saginaw County's COVID-19 positivity rates and hospitalizations, Covenant Healthcare has now made the decision to roll back visitor restrictions. Effective immediately, Dr. Michael Sullivan, Chief Medical Officer at Covenant, says we cannot let our guard down. We need the community to help our healthcare workers and use common sense rules to stop the spread of COVID-19. The move comes after similar restrictions implemented by Ascension hospitals, including St. Mary's in Saginaw. WSGW News Time, 9:07.
While we've been staying safe at home, scientists have been on a journey. The destination, a COVID-19 vaccine. This journey began decades ago with research into other coronaviruses. Scientists built from there with months of research and development, cooperation with other experts worldwide, and clinical trials on tens of thousands of volunteers of diverse race, age, and health status. They arrived at a safe, effective vaccine, and hundreds of thousands in Michigan have already been vaccinated. But the next step is ours. We need to get the vaccine when we can. Keep wearing masks correctly and taking precautions until we reach our destination, freedom from COVID-19 and getting back to the lives we love. Discover the facts for yourself at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
WSGW News Time, 9:08. Several fire departments battled a large fire last night in downtown Owasso. The fire began around 9:15 p.m. along West Comstock Street between South Washington and Ball Streets. The heaviest fire was concentrated in a vacant two-story building that housed the former Jumbo's Burger Bar. No one was inside the building. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Millington schools will return to all virtual learning after spring break. School officials say a rise in COVID-19 cases in the Thumb area, coupled with people leaving the area for spring break, prompted the decision. In-person instruction is tentatively scheduled to return on April 12th. Extracurricular activities will continue as planned with state mandates in place. A lawsuit has been filed against Michigan over the state's requirement to test student athletes for the coronavirus. Here's reporter Stephanie Davis.
The group Let Them Play, along with a few parents, are suing the state to stop the new requirement to have all teen athletes regularly test for the virus. The suit filed Thursday, a day before the mandate effective date. The state health department announced the free required rapid testing be done to help curb the spread of COVID-19, which is surging now across the state. The lawsuit alleges that a state order and related guidance on mandatory quarantines for athletes are arbitrary and capricious.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture is providing $1 billion per month in additional food assistance to about 25 million people. Those individuals and families are in very low-income households who participate in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP program, and are struggling to put food on the table due to the pandemic. Starting this month, households which had not received at least $95 per month in increased benefits through emergency allotments during the pandemic because they were already at or close to receiving their current maximum benefit will now be eligible to receive additional benefits. Benefit levels will remain unchanged for households that have been receiving increased payments of at least $95 per month. States may need a few weeks to update their systems and get the additional benefits to participants. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 910. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Sunny skies today with high temperatures in the upper 40s. We'll have partly cloudy conditions throughout the overnight period tonight with lows in the lower 30s. Sunshine will continue on Saturday for the beginning of the weekend at a high of 57. Southwest winds blow 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. Clear for your Saturday nights and a low in the upper 30s. Sunny on Sunday with temperatures climbing into the mid-60s with mostly cloudy skies Sunday nights and a low 42. Partly sunny Monday and a high of 63 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jake Pozesinski with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, 24.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW for a Good Friday. Later on after 10 o'clock, we'll have open phones for you. At 11 on Focus, we're going to talk to a urologist from McLaren Bay. But for this hour, it is customary for us on Good Friday every year to speak to the Good Friday speaker that is invited to Saginaw to participate in the Good Friday service at Horizon Conference Center. But COVID-19 restrictions have restricted that the last couple of years. But to keep ourselves in good order, we invite a local pastor to join us and talk about Good Friday and religion in America. And today is no exception. And joining us is Pastor Eric Schmidt from Peace Lutheran Church. Pastor, good morning to you.
Good morning, Aaron. How are you doing?
We're doing all right. Thanks for joining us again. We appreciate it. So
excellent. Absolutely.
Here we are on Good Friday in what follows what many would say was not a good year with COVID-19. Has Good Friday taken on any extra meaning because of COVID-19?
Boy, that's a good question. I think yes. I mean, I think just from a basic human standpoint, Good Friday, but spiritual, it crosses in there. I mean, Good Friday is the day that Jesus went to the cross and died, and we believe that he took our sins on him on this day. And it's back then it must have felt like all hope had died, and over this past year, then there were definitely some times that we all felt like hope had died and had gone away. But Good Friday prepares us for Easter, and the darkness of Good Friday makes the light of Easter that much brighter. And I think this year, more than ever, we're all feeling it. It's an opportunity to come together in the darkness, but we know that Sunday is coming, and Sunday is that hope lies ahead, the light's at the end of the tunnel. Even though we're seeing numbers spiking and all of that stuff, we know we're going to get through this. And I think this is a perfect time to go back to church and hear a message of hope, even in the darkness.
What has it done for example, attendance at Peace, which is a fairly good-sized church? What has it done for your attendance? How do you handle it?
Yeah, well, we were in a very good position. I know a lot of churches have struggled to make a transition over to live streaming and getting an online presence, but we already had a pretty strong online presence. We were very, very blessed in that. When we had to shut down with a bunch of other churches, and we made that decision ourselves. We were never told to shut down. We just closed in person. We kept going with live streaming, and then we put some precautions in place and opened back up, and we have not had to close since. And we've seen attendance come gradually back in person. Online, it's been strong the whole time. But as we've come closer to Easter and we have lifted some of our restrictions, we still require masks, but we've taken away our reduced seating capacity. We've returned communion and things like that. We've seen our attendance going steadily up. Last night was Maundy Thursday. We had a service, and it was a packed house, safely packed house, but it was a packed house. We're seeing the people want to come back to church. They want to get back together, and they want to have that even if it's not physical contact yet, just to be in the presence of other people.
That speaks well for your church, but there was a survey recently that showed that majority of Americans are unaffiliated now and don't attend regularly. Do you have any notion as to what's caused the demise in organized religion in this country? Or would you agree that there is one? Let's put it that way, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I definitely think we've seen it in a lot of places. I do think it's been overstated, and I don't want to blame any particular party, because I think the church has been just as guilty of pronouncing the death of organized religion and church, and in an effort to try and remodel ourselves, we've said things that have played into that narrative. But there's a truth to that narrative too. I do think that people have gradually dropped farther and farther away from the church. I think a lot of that has come from a shift from Christianity being a positive presence in our community to being a negative presence, and I think we hold a lot of the responsibility for that. The church has, for a long time now, been more vocal about what we're against than what we're for, and I think, in our culture that's becoming more and more quickly, more and more everyone is against everything. Now more than ever, the church really has to speak out about what we're for, and that's love and forgiveness, the power of the gospel to change lives and make a difference in people's lives. And I think that's why you're starting to see people looking more for messages of hope, because there's so little out there.
I've asked this question, I think, of every Good Friday speaker I've had on the show over, 40 years or whatever it's been. Does the church need to change in its message or how it delivers its message to reattract people into the pews?
Yeah, no, it's an excellent question. The message never changes. The message of God's truth that is for all people, regardless of race, sex, religion, economic status, education. Jesus came for all people and ministered to the poor and the sick and the least among these. That message is timeless, and that message never changes. But the delivery of that message has had to change. I think there was definitely a time in America where you could put up a sign, open your doors, and people came to church because that's what people did. And we have to recognize that new reality, that we need to give people a reason to attend. And that message is that timeless message. And that's what we have to focus on, and focus less on, not that we don't stand up for what's right, but we need to focus less on things like politics and moral statements than the message of hope. Morality matters, but it starts with a message of hope.
One of the measures of the future of the church, any church really, is the ability to attract people into the clergy. How are we doing in this country attracting young people to join the clerical life?
Well, I think we're doing a terrible job of that. I don't think we're doing a good job of that at all. I think there was a long time in this country where clergy were underpaid and underappreciated. I think we have had a generation of telling our kids, you don't want to go into ministry, there's no money in that. And then I think, with scandals, not just in the Catholic Church, but among Protestant leaders, being in the ministry, it doesn't hold the same kind of moral authority that it used to. And I think a new effort to get people to go into ministry has got to be, again, focused on preaching that timeless message of the gospel of God's forgiveness and love for all people. And I think we could do that. I think we're making strides at least in our church body. I can't speak for other church bodies, but we definitely have to do a better job of that. We can't just assume that people are going to feel called on their own by God. I think the church has to do a good job of teaching young kids why we want to do this. Because it's a similar motivation to having people want to become teachers. And I don't think we have a shortage of people who want to be teachers, but I don't think we see pastors in the same way.
What drew you into it?
What drew me into it? Art, I don't think we have enough time for my story about that. I'm a second career guy. I went to seminary at 32 years old. I was teaching world religions and philosophy courses at a college in Houston. When my second son was born with special needs, he had cerebral palsy, and I sort of had an early midlife crisis of, what am I doing with myself? Where am I going to go with this? And then it was a conversation with my pastor, and my pastor said, you have pastoral gifts. Would you ever consider the pastoral ministry? And I laughed at him, and I said, no, I don't ever want to be one of those guys. And he said, what was convincing for me, he said, God doesn't call you to be somebody else. He calls you to be who you are. And from there, it was off to seminary and becoming a pastor, and I absolutely love what I do.
And it wasn't a stretch. I mean, you had already been teaching religion and things of that nature. So it wasn't like you jumped from, working construction job into the pastoral life. It was pretty.
No, but I worked construction too, growing up. Matter of fact. I've always been a man of faith. My faith has always been primary in my life. I've always loved studying religions and what other people believe and why we believe it.
Oh yeah.
And even when I was teaching, my motivation was to take something that I found fascinating and interesting and sort of show my students why I thought it could be fascinating and interesting for them. I taught mostly intro level courses that students had to take as an elective philosophy course. And my goal was by the end to have them glad that they chose the right course. And I think I was pretty successful in that. And that's still my goal in ministry, is to show people why I think the Word of God is still relevant for us today.
Pastor, hang on. I have to take a break. We're talking to Pastor Eric Schmidt from Peace Lutheran Church in Saginaw, and we will return with more. Time now to play the WSGW Spring Into Cash contest. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering the following winning word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is party, P-A-R-T-Y. Let's all get together and have a party. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. One winner chosen each day, must be 18 or older to play. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Spring Into Cash on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW. When you choose Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan for your Medicare coverage, it's easy to get the care, tests, or treatment you need whenever you need them. When you need access to care, Blue Cross provides you with more options that work for every lifestyle. Schedule appointments for checkups or routine care at a time that's convenient for you. If you'd like to stay close to home, give the Blue Cross 24/7 nurse line a call or schedule a virtual doctor visit. Whenever you need assistance, Blue Cross will connect you with the information and the help you need. With the Blue Cross Medicare plan, you'll never have to go without your medication. Their easy-to-use prescription drug plans allow you to refill and pick up your medications from your local pharmacy or have them delivered by mail. Get access to the care you need as soon as you need it with Blue Cross, the company more than 500,000 people in Michigan trust for their Medicare coverage. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. See what other members are saying at bcbsm.com/senior care. We'll be back with Pastor Schmidt after these notes.
Great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Hiring picked up last month and was even stronger than expected. The Labor Department says there were 916,000 new jobs created and the unemployment rate declined to 6%. Economists have been anticipating a hiring spree this spring. After pandemic restrictions were relaxed in many places, people received stimulus payments and more people were vaccinated. Abbott Lab shares are higher in after-hours trading after it received emergency approval from the FDA for its over-the-counter COVID-19 test. Food delivery companies are betting you'll still want to order restaurant meals to eat at home after the pandemic. The Wall Street Journal says Deliveroo, part owned by Amazon, is investing in ghost kitchens not connected to a restaurant. DoorDash is also testing the concept. Stock markets are closed today. Bond markets are open. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
The border is in crisis. President Trump made the border a priority, but Biden is spending $86 million on hotel rooms for migrants. Now, Grant Stinchfield investigates Biden's executive orders and dangerous policies. Watch Stinchfield on Newsmax TV tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern as he reveals the dangers. Find Newsmax TV on all major cable systems or get it free on Roku, YouTube, Xumo, Pluto, and smart TVs. Plus, download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Help protect our border. Watch Newsmax TV's Stinchfield tonight.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
This is a test. WSGW is conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This is a test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. WSGW serves Saginaw, Bay, and Midland counties, along with the surrounding area. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system on WSGW.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW, talking to Pastor Eric Schmidt from Peace Lutheran Church on this Good Friday. So, Pastor, it's very timely because of what you did prior to becoming a pastor. You were teaching religion. And I have said for many, many, many years that it ought to be a requirement in every high school that students take a course in comparative religion so that they understand what the religions of the world are all about. And it might go a long way to clear some of the misunderstandings that we have about others. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm inclined to agree with you, except that it's a class that requires a very, what I want to say, it can't be taught with an agenda,
right?
You know, because it can very easily be taught with an agenda, and I think, but I absolutely agree with it in principle. To understand people better, to speak the language. I'm actually just wrapping up a world religions, we call it a Bible study, but it's just been a world religions class at my church that's been going on Monday nights, and it's been really great. We've had people tuning in the live stream and asking questions, and that's my goal, even teaching it as a pastor in my church, is just to give people a perspective on what other people believe and maybe help them understand why they believe it. But I have to keep reminding people, I'm still speaking in generalities. You know, I may tell you what Muslims believe, but the Muslim you work with may believe something different, and it goes for everybody of every religion, just like Christians don't always agree on everything about everything.
Which brings me to the next question I ask all the time, because the Good Friday services, obviously, it is always a Lutheran pastor that joins me. And just for reference, you're speaking to a Jewish kid from the Bronx. So I look at it from the outside in. And the thing that I have never quite understood is why various Christian religions or various denominations within Christian religions don't allow crossover for communion. It boggles my mind a little bit, because, again, I'm looking at it very simplistically. To me, a Christian is someone who believes in Christ. Does the dogma of the church get in the way? What's the issue? How does it function?
Yeah, so when the Bible talks about communion, one of the things it says is that whoever eats this bread and drinks this cup but does not discern the body of Christ drinks judgment upon himself. And so that makes it a very serious thing for us. And so there are three basic stances on communion: open communion, which is anybody and everybody can come; closed communion with a D on the end, which is you have to be a member of this church. That's what the Roman Catholic Church practices. And then there's close communion, which is what the Lutheran Church practices, although there are a lot of Lutheran churches that end up practicing closed with a D communion. But close communion is, if you believe and confess what we believe, then we invite you to take communion. But that decision is on you. And the reason is that we take it very seriously. We believe that Jesus' body and blood is present with the bread and wine. We don't believe it changes substance like the Catholics do. We believe it's more than symbolic, which is like what the Baptists believe. We believe when Jesus said it is, it is. We take him at his word, and we believe God can do anything and everything. We're not cannibals, but it's Jesus. He's God. And so we want people to understand what we're saying. Even if they don't fully understand what we're saying, we want them to be able to at least take it on faith. And so it's really for the protection of the believer, and it has the goal of education. What we want is not to turn someone away from the table. What we want is for someone to have a conversation with a pastor and learn more about it and grow in their faith.
Realistically, though, if someone from another denomination within Lutheranism, for example, if a Wisconsin Synod member shows up to your church and walks up for communion, you don't ask them where they're from, do you?
No, I don't. First of all, I'm at a big church, and so I've been here about 2 years. I don't even know all my own members, and I don't have time to stand up there and ask for identification, even if I wanted to, which I don't. I'm not the morality police up there, and that's why we place the decision back on the believer. We tell them what we believe, and we say, if you believe this, you're welcome to come. Like I said, I'm not in the business of turning anyone away from the table, but I do want them to have that conversation.
So explain to me, before we move on to other religions, explain to me the difference of the various synods within Lutheranism.
So there's about 55 different Lutheran organizations in America, which is insane in itself.
Yeah.
But there's three major ones that everybody kind of knows of. And when I say everybody, I mean here in the Midwest. If you go to Texas and you tell them we're Missouri Synod, they'll go, y'all from Missouri? They don't know what that means. It doesn't mean anything. But there's the Lutheran Church of Missouri Synod, which is what Peace is, what I am. And then there's the ELCA, the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, and then the Wells Church, the Wisconsin Synod. The Wisconsin Synod and the Missouri Synod are very close in what we believe. We believe the Bible is the Word of God. We believe what the Bible says, and then we seek to understand it. The ELCA, their major difference is they believe that the Word of God is in the Bible, but they hold the power to interpret what is and what is not the Word of God. And we would say that they are then they're putting themselves in the place of God, deciding, well, he meant this, but he didn't mean that. And that creates a whole host of other differences about what we believe about different issues, because we believe it's an issue of Scripture, and they generally believe it's an issue of social justice. Wisconsin Synod and Missouri Synod, our main differences are very, very very detail-oriented. Wisconsin Synod believes that you should not have any kind of fellowship with other Christians of other beliefs. I don't really understand that. Our position is just altar and pulpit, meaning I can't trade places with a Baptist pastor on a Sunday morning, for example, and then the communion thing that we explained.
Yeah.
But we're really getting down. With Wisconsin and Missouri, you're really splitting hairs on the difference. The ELCA versus us, that's where it's a major difference. And what we would describe as the LCMS is on the conservative side and the ELC is on the liberal side. That's theologically and socially.
Yeah, I at one time at least I viewed it. I think I might have to modify that view a little bit, but looking at Judaism, I think of Reform, Conservative, and Orthodox, and how the religion is practiced, so to speak. I've got to take a break. Hang on. We're talking to Pastor Eric Schmidt. We'll be back, and we'll get to your response to that after these notes on the Art Lewis Show.
The Saginaw Children's Zoo will be opening for the season on Wednesday, April 21st. Take a wild adventure to the Saginaw Children's Zoo. Say hello to all your feathered, scaly, and furry animal friends and get some much-needed fresh air. The Saginaw Children's Zoo can't wait to see you. Visit SaginawZoo.com for details.
Saginaw Children's Zoo. How do you do?
Carl was more than $10,000 in credit card debt. Disaster was coming.
Well, it was pretty bad. It was coming to the end. I was getting desperate.
He called Total Financial Freedom. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've helped thousands of people reduce all types of debt to a fraction of what they owed. Call 800-533-6605 to see if you qualify. Call in the next 10 minutes to receive a free book written by the CEO, The Debt Dietitian, The Way to a Healthy Financial Future. Call 800-533-6605.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. Been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? Call U.S. Pharmacy at 800-990-6271 for as little as only $119 for 90 pills. Need your package in a hurry? Call 800-990-6271 and ask about our express shipping option, and we'll rush your order to you as soon as possible. Save money on the little blue or yellow pill you've been wanting to try. Again, 800-990-6271 now. That's 800-990-6271.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor.
It's been a challenging year. And Consumers Energy knows asking for assistance isn't always easy.
Thank you for calling the Assistance Center. How can I help you?
Hi, I just got my most recent energy bill, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pay it. It's been a really challenging year. And I was just wondering if there's any help available.
If you need help with energy and other bills, call 211 or go to mi211.org.
This is the Stone Specialist Studios, 100.5 News Radio WSGW, 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Pastor Eric Schmidt from Peace Lutheran Church in Saginaw on this Good Friday. And Pastor, are there any, what can I call it, ecumenical attempts within the clergy to meet with other clergy? For example, do the Catholics and Lutherans and Presbyterians and Baptists, you ever get together?
Yeah, it varies by the area and by the pastors and the churches. I've been in Saginaw for not quite 2 full years, and one of them was a COVID year, so I feel like I still just moved here.
Yeah.
So I know that there are a couple of area gatherings of clergy. I have not had time to seek them out yet, but that does happen. And you have some people who keep to themselves, and then some people who are just too busy for that kind of thing. But there are definitely efforts on the parts of people of different understandings of Christianity to work together to pray for our community, to do things like service oriented. In fact, I know Peace works with a lot of service organizations in the area who already have boots on the ground and are doing a great job, and we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just go and support them. And those are organizations that other churches we work with as well.
Christianity has survived for thousands of years. What's the future of it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think the future of it is whatever God has for it. We look at it here in America, and we wonder where things are headed. Are we losing freedom of religion? Is it being redefined? What are the threats? Things like that. But what we're so narrow-sighted. Christianity is exploding in places like South America, Africa, and China. In fact, the church has always flourished in areas where it is most heavily persecuted. Christians in America have no idea what persecution is yet. We can complain about how comfortable we used to be, and it's getting a little uncomfortable. And that's not anything to be scoffed at. But at the same time, there are Christians in the world who are facing imprisonment, torture, and death, and yet the church is still flourishing. The Bible says the gates of hell will not prevail against God's church, and so there's no fear for the church dying in the world. Just things are going to change locally, I think.
When you say change locally, how do you mean that?
Well, I think just understanding, the way that our society is changing and finding ways to reach people. Like you said, I don't think people don't set aside a whole day to go to church anymore. People don't set aside evenings to go to church, but finding ways to reach them with online services, and not just online worship, but online communities and different ways of reaching out and bringing people together. Because our world, as much as we're being brought together by social media and things like that, it's actually separating us huge ways, because you can sit there on your phone and interact with people in ways that you would never interact with them in person. And I think one of the ways that we can, as a church, adjust is to new forms of ministry, where right now, people are still gathering in buildings, and we're getting back to that. But I think we need to find, and are working on finding, new ways to bring people together in different types of ways, because we're becoming a very lonely society, I think.
That's an interesting comment, because it seems to me, again, as an outside observer looking at church life in America, the churches went through a period where the thought was, well, maybe we have to put more entertaining elements in. Maybe we need more music in church. We need to do more things that way. Now the new mantra is we need more cameras.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of reality to that. But I would say we just need to focus on people. I think that's what the church has always been about. We've lost sight of that for a while, and that's what we need to get back to. And I think that's what we are getting back to.
Is it your sense, from the standpoint of Peace, which again is a large church in this area, that you'll be able to hold a congregation and even grow the congregation?
Yeah, I think so. Because I do think that people are still looking for words of hope and encouragement. And as this world becomes an increasingly scarier place, and whether it actually is scarier or whether we're just aware of it more, because I can't imagine living through a world war. I can't imagine living through a civil war. I never had to deal with those things. So I think the world seems like a scarier place because it's always in our faces. But people are looking for messages of hope and encouragement and connections with people. And I think that that's what the church offers, and that's what the church is going to keep offering. So, no, I do think that we can continue to grow. We've seen growth even through COVID. We continue to add new members. Our viewership, even online, continues to grow. We have people from Texas and West Michigan, for example, that are watching us online and becoming a part of us. And it's a whole new world.
Social media, boon or a bane?
Yes.
I'll you know what? I'll take a break on that. Hang on. Perfect answer.
All right.
We're going to take a pause and come back. We'll also allow a couple of minutes for the pastor to give us a message for Good Friday. All of that is ahead on the Art Lewis Show for this Good Friday. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Ever wonder what makes Omaha Steaks so good? Order today and find out at omahasteaks.com. Enter RARE into the search bar for the Butcher's Best Sellers package at an exclusive price and save over 50%. This package includes 29 items from the Fork Tender Butcher's Cut Filet Mignon to savory pork chops and so much more. Plus, when you order today, you'll receive 4 chicken breasts and 4 extra burgers for free. Go to omahasteaks.com, type keyword RARE, R-A-R-E, into the search bar and order the Butcher's Best Seller package today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins Show.
I am so ready to go back to work.
I just need a chance.
So where do I start?
MidMichiganWork.com. Moorbark is now hiring welders, machine operators, and other skilled positions. No training? No problem. Apply for Moorbark's welder training program and earn while you learn. For more details on this position, other local companies that are hiring, and how to apply, go to MidMichiganWork.com. That's MidMichiganWork.com.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Receive a $5 rebate by trading up a non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen temporal scanner purchased at any retailer. Fever is a leading symptom of COVID, and using an accurate thermometer has never been more critical. In published studies, no-touch thermometers miss more fevers than they detect. While the new COVID vaccines are becoming more widely available, it is important to make sure you are protected. Monitor for fever with an accurate thermometer backed by more than 80 published peer-reviewed clinical studies. Details at Exergen.com, where accuracy matters.
Hi, this is Mike Avery, and here's what's coming up this week on Outdoor Magazine. First, Michigan's Morel master, Clayton Edney, talks about that season that's just around the corner. In hour number 2, we're talking with Northern Michigan Charter Captain Jim Chamberlain. And in hour number 3, retiring DNR biologist Al Stewart. He's done after 50 years on the job. Listen Sunday mornings at 9 on 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins Show.
It's the Friday Five. We'll be making fools out of ourselves more than usual. And you thought that was impossible.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
Back with you on the Art Lewis Show on this Good Friday. We're talking to Pastor Eric Schmidt from Peace Lutheran Church. And I'm not going to give you a lot of time to write a quick sermon but I will ask you to deliver one here toward the end for a couple of minutes. But before I do that,
Sure.
What does your relationship with God mean to you in your life?
My relationship with God means everything to me. My life has been very easy in some ways and very difficult in other ways. I think we could all say that about our lives. God's been with me through it every step of the way. He doesn't make it any easier because I'm a Christian, but I know that He never leaves me alone. He's always beside me no matter what I deal with. He doesn't always get me out of the things that I get into, but He's always there beside me, and so I know that I'm never alone.
He gives you a lot of choice, doesn't he?
He does. He does give me a lot of choice, and there's a lot of consequences to our choices.
Oh, yes. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? All right, so we have a few minutes left here. So pretend you're on the pulpit, and what do you tell your congregation about Good Friday and about Easter Sunday?
Yeah, I want you to know that there is a God, and He does care about you. He cares about you enough to care about you right where you're at. He cares about you enough to let you know that He knows that you're not okay, but that's okay. God set up a system where He told us how to live the best life by keeping His laws. We don't do it. We're not very good at it. He knows that. And so He stepped down and He interceded. And He was born for us. He lived for us, and He died for us. He became a human being to face this life on our behalf and face everything that we face. And on Good Friday, He died. That is not how we would do it if we were God and we were going to save the world. But thank God that we're not God, because our ways are not as good as His ways. He chose to bring power through weakness, life through death, victory through defeat. Because on Easter Sunday, He didn't stay dead. He rose again. And that death and resurrection, that promises everlasting life to people who just believe that God loves us enough to save us just because He loves us.
Well, Pastor, I want to thank you for spending some time with us on this Good Friday. When are you holding Easter services?
We have an Easter service at 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, and then again on Sunday morning, a sunrise service at 7 a.m. and again at 9 a.m. Those are both very traditional services. At 11:15, it's more of a modern or contemporary service with a band. So 7, 9, and 11:15 on Sunday, 6:30 Saturday night.
And online, where do they find you?
Online, you can find us at www.peacesaginaw.org. You can watch it live there. We're also on YouTube and Facebook. Easy to find, Peace Saginaw.
Well, I want to thank you again for being with us today, and may you have a blessed holiday.
Thank you, Art, and you as well. It was my honor to be with you today.
Thank you much. We'll talk again. Bye-bye now.
All right.
Pastor Eric Schmidt. He is I think I'd be correct in calling him the senior lead pastor at Peace Lutheran Church. And he has been there just a couple of years, as he said, and came right, before COVID. And so his first year was kind of a lost year in some ways, but quite a unique individual, and interesting that and I've found this to be the case in many cases, that it was a second career for him that got him into the ministry. Yeah, he was teaching religion and he was related to religion in his career, but making that jump into the pastoral world is a significant change. Another person who did that in this area is the bishop of the Catholic Church. Bishop Grouse was a corporate pilot before he got into religion in his 30s, in his later life, if you will. It seems to, I've talked to a number of ministers and pastors about it. It is definitely a calling, and at some point in your life, you feel that calling and you follow the lead. And it's really, I'll tell you, I've always admired clergy, any and all, from rabbis in my religion to pastors and priests in Christianity to imams in Muslim. It is a very special person that enters pastoral life. And I have nothing but the highest regard for them. It is not an easy life. And it is not you don't go into it to make a fortune, that's for sure. I think probably pastors may do a little better today than they did in the past financially, but they're not going to get rich on it. Anyhow, I want to thank Eric for joining us today, and we appreciate his time. We're going to take a break here and then come back, and we'll finish up this hour on Good Friday. We'll be back.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
The WSGW online poll about the filibuster in the United States Senate. The current filibuster rule essentially requires 60 members to agree to end debate on any legislation and move it to a vote. Then a simple majority, that's all that's necessary to actually pass a bill. Some Democrats have talked about eliminating the filibuster, accusing the Republicans of abusing the rule. Republicans are threatening to use every available rule to jam governance if the Democrats end the filibuster. Poll question: what should happen with the filibuster? Your answers? You can choose I vote Democrat and say it should be eliminated. I vote Democrat and say it should stay. I vote Republican and say it should be eliminated. I vote Republican and say it should stay, or you're not sure. Hopefully something for everybody. Head to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, make your vote that way. Do we end the segment now, or would either of you like to filibuster and we'll just continue going on?
No. The WSGW Morning Team Show. Weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. Detroit Tigers baseball is on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Swinging a high fly ball to the snowflakes and right deep, and it's gone, a home run! How about it? Miguel Cabrera slides into second because he thought it was a double.
Tigers baseball brought to you in part by DCECU, Lingle Equipment Company, Low Files Ace Hardware in Saginaw. Your home for the Tigers is WSGW.
Great moment yesterday, Tiger baseball. Hope you were listening here on WSGW. It's snowing in Detroit, and the image of Miguel sliding into second base and then getting up and running around the rest of the bases was absolutely priceless. And the call, I don't think that Jim and Dan were sure whether or not it was a home run because they couldn't see it. The snow was heavy enough. Anyway, that'll do it for this hour. We'll be back with open phones next hour. We will have a question for Pat Johnston right off the top that has nothing to do with sports. And so stick around for that. Stick around for the news, and then we'll talk to you right after that on the Art Lewis Show. We'll be back.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The economy's looking up as more Americans head to work. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger. The labor market experienced a spring thaw. 916,000 jobs were created in March, and the previous 2 months were actually revised higher. 156,000 more jobs than previously reported. The hospitality industry leads the way. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo tells CBS this morning she believes overseas jobs will return to the U.S.
What will come back is the higher skill, higher tech, more advanced manufacturing with a combination of basic research and training, and then fair trade policy. We can't let China eat our lunch.
The unemployment rate was down to 6% last month. Despite spiking COVID cases in some parts of the country, more people are traveling. Correspondent Tammy McCormick says they're finding less elbow room when they fly.
Those empty middle seats are gone, and it's unnerving to some air travelers.
They had the whole plane filled, and she just stepped out of it because she didn't want to be on that flight.
Others aren't so worried.
I'm not really scared. I take my precautions. I wear my mask. I use my hand sanitizer. So
some airports are seeing a record number of travelers as Americans take long-awaited vacations. The airline industry has also been pushing the CDC for new travel guidance.
There will be a star witness at Derek Chauvin's murder trial today. CBS's Jamie Yukas.
Prosecutors are expected to use the Minneapolis police chief to make their case against his own former officer. He fired Chauvin days after George Floyd died, and all eyes will be on the answer to one question. In his opinion, did Derek Chauvin use excessive force when his knee was on George Floyd's neck?
The New York Times says an investigation into Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is focusing on cash paid to women, allegedly for sex. CBS's Catherine Herridge.
The new details come as the Justice Department is also looking into whether Gaetz had a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old and paid for her to travel across state lines with him, potentially violating sex trafficking laws.
Thermometers are plunging in the South and the Southeast, and growers are concerned about crops.
Farmers from the southern Midwest to northern Florida to the Carolinas are worried about freezing temperatures.
It's definitely keeping us on our toes.
Overnight temperatures have dipped into the mid-20s in places.
What normally would ripen overnight will not occur.
Hunter Bullock manages a strawberry farm in central South Carolina.
So we would lose what we have now as well as what we would produce for the next month.
Warmer weather is expected this Jim Krasula, CBS News.
This is CBS News.
When you're hiring, there's no luxury of time. So instead of waiting for people to see your sponsored post, invite them to apply. More at Indeed.com/credits.
Northeastern Paint Supply invites you to listen to the WSGW Focus Show with Art Lewis, weekday mornings from 11 to 11:30. You'll hear local business and community leaders. Sponsored by Northeastern Paint Home Decorating Centers in Saginaw and Bay City.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
We all know why gold can be a strong asset to your retirement plans. Here's why Valor Gold Group is the one to trust with your gold transactions. Gold and precious metals aren't just another investment tool or collectible. They've historically been a shield against financial unrest and global turmoil. The experts at Valor Gold Group have decades of experience, custom-tailored gold acquisitions to meet specific needs. Whether you're planning for the future or looking for the best value on collectible gold coins and bullion, more and more people count on Valor Gold Group. We'll help you open a gold IRA, funding it to suit your specific requirement, then rolling over your existing IRA into a metals-friendly IRA. It's easy to plan for the future when you've got the right people working with you every step of the way. Get started today with a free investor guide and free consultation. 800-218-6997. That's 800-218-6997 at ValorGoldGroup.com. Investing, collecting, securing your retirement. 800-218-6997.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 30 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Dave Maurer. Fire officials in Owasso are investigating a fire that broke out in a vacant building last night. Around 9:15, several departments responded to the former Jumbo's Burger Bar building, which has been closed since 2019. The building was engulfed in flames when crews arrived. There were no reports of any injuries. Health officials say a Bay County resident has contracted a new COVID-19 variant. The local health department is now investigating the person's exposure history. Lynn Sutphin is a spokesperson for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
The variant is called P1 or Brazil variant. It was first discovered earlier this year on travelers in Brazil during routine airport screening in Tokyo, Japan. We know that it's been associated with increased transmissibility, and there are concerns that it may, affect immunity.
As of Wednesday, the CDC has reported 172 confirmed P1 cases in the U.S. Bay County health officials were joined by U.S. Congressman Dan Kildee at yesterday's COVID-19 vaccination clinic at Delta College. At the clinic, Kildee was shown the entire vaccination process, from cold storage to handling by the health department and Delta nursing program leaders and nurses to inoculation of a participating driver. Kildee says the people stopping by Delta to get their shots are looking out for more than just their own well-being.
That's good to see. It takes a person to take the initiative to do it. We're out here to draw attention to the great work that's going on. It's a very safe, highly efficient process. No time is wasted. You're not just protecting yourself. Obviously, that's an important piece of this, but it's really a gift to your family, to your friends, to your neighbors, to the people that you work with, that you're willing to take a step that will protect them as well.
The stop allowed by Bay County Health Officer Joel Strauss and Delta College President Gene Goodnow to share the progress of previous events, averaging anywhere from 700 to 1,000 shots per clinic, and people more on the recently passed American Rescue Plan, which will provide more than $20 billion annually to improve vaccine distribution nationwide. Starting today, a special tax credit is being offered to employers who provide additional time off for workers to recover from any side effects of a COVID vaccination. Terry Bonnet of Nemeth Law.
Quite a few people are experiencing side effects. And to the extent that they have to miss work for that, there's going to have to be time provided for them somewhere. A lot of employers are voluntarily providing additional benefits above and beyond their normal everyday policies. And to the extent they are doing that, those tax credits would be available.
With the tax credit available, Bonnet says employers won't have to use their sick time when taking a day off after getting the shot. He says workers should discuss the option with their boss. The tax credit is available until April 30th. WSGW News Time, 10:08.
As the world begins to open up again, don't forget to support your local partners. Together we can help make our community strong and help restaurants like
Mountain Town Station, located in downtown Mount Pleasant, open for great artisan pizzas, steaks, seafood, and much more, along with a full bar and handcrafted beers. Inside and outdoor dining is available. Great times await you at Mountain Town Station.
Cafe 1-3 in Cucaulin on South Huron Road now serves alcohol. Find them on Untapped for their current selections. Check out their signature paninis, wraps, and delicious draft beers. Visit their Facebook for their current hours. Cafe 1-3. Which brew suits you?
Stop into Best Choice Pizza of Cucaulin for delicious gourmet pizzas, subs, salads, grinders, and wings. Now offering gluten-free pizzas. Open 7 days a week for takeout and delivery. For more details, check out our Facebook page. Best Choice Pizza of Cucaulin, located on South Huron Road.
Enjoy great food and friends while supporting our communities as we all grow together.
WSGW News Time 10:09. Visitor restrictions are now in place at Michigan Medicine hospitals to minimize the spread of COVID-19. The health system says no visitors will be allowed for adult patients unless medically necessary. Pediatric patients can have 2 parents or caregivers. The restrictions come as hospitalizations at Michigan Medicine doubled over the past few weeks, with about 70 patients now receiving treatment. A southeast Michigan county is dealing with a troubling problem during the pandemic. The sewer system is being clogged by wipes. And Macomb County Drain Commissioner Candace Miller says crews have cleaned out 270 tons of debris from the pumping station. That's nearly 4 times the normal amount.
And it's happening almost all the time now. We have what we call grinders, where we're sort of trying to grind some of these things out, but really much of it is almost an effort by human beings. We have to send people down into these systems and just cleaning out all of these grates and trying to get these wipes off of them. It is a mess. It's a mess.
Miller says although many wipes claim they are flushable, they need to be thrown in the garbage. Churches across Michigan are preparing for Easter services at a time COVID cases are on the rise. While capacity will still be limited, churches still expect higher attendance. Along with the usual protocols, including masking, social distancing, and extra cleaning, churches are also live streaming services for people who wish to stay home. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 7520790. It's 1010. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures this afternoon warming to the mid-40s. West-northwest winds light around 5. Gradually increasing cloud cover for tonight, 31 degrees for your low. We're warmer on Saturday, upper 50s, while partly sunny skies and southwest winds still gusting in the 20s. Clear Saturday night, low of 37, 63 on Sunday, beautiful, lots of sunshine. Partly sunny skies on Monday, 62 degrees for your high. At a high of 66 Tuesday, chance for rain ending early and partly sunny skies. I'm meteorologist Mandy Faluber with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently 28 degrees.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And a good morning. Welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW for this Good Friday. Nice to have you with us. Open phones for this hour, whatever you'd like to chat about. Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111. Toll free, 866-790-WSGW inside the state of Michigan. If you're outside the state of Michigan, call 989-752-6111. Pat, are you there?
I am.
Well, good. We have one of our regular listeners who has made an inquiry of you.
An inquiry of me?
Yes. He has
like
said...
interrogation.
You may be. When you watch the 10 Commandments movie this weekend, he wants you to look for the actor wearing a wristwatch.
I will look for that.
Apparently, according to this listener, there is an actor who's wearing a wristwatch somewhere in the movie.
Wait,
have you ever seen
they
it?
Didn't have. I have. I've watched it many times. Like, but the wristwatch? No, I've missed that the whole time.
Yeah, well, I have
Although
too.
I wonder, how did they? I mean, didn't they wear wristwatches back in antiquity? I mean, how else did they tell time?
They strapped them on the back of mules, I think.
No, I will have to look for it. I wish he would have said which actor was wearing it. But,
He didn't. He just said watch for it. But and he also
Watch
said
for it.
he said there were some other strange things in the movie, but I don't
Well, there it is. It is quite the event. Let's just put it that way.
Epic.
Yeah. I'll say this I'm not talking about the biblical story or anything like that. Just looking at this strictly as a film. I think Cecil B. DeMille did some better pictures than the Ten Commandments, but that's the one that has endured through time.
Well, and Cecil B. DeMille was always involved in epics. I mean, his films were always gargantuan. There was nothing simple or small about any of them.
No, not like, and like I said during the morning team show, I think that it takes about 10 minutes to get through the opening credits because you have to read every name in Hollywood.
All of Hollywood, yeah.
Who was involved with it.
All right, so
you know what though? Can I tell you this though? I've always, when it comes to religious movies, I've always and Charlton Heston, here you go. I've always loved Ben-Hur a lot more than the Ten Commandments.
I would agree. I would absolutely agree.
I think that has to deal with the fact that my parents took me to the old Detroit movie theater. It was in Old Redford. I'm sorry, the Old Redford Theater in Detroit when I was about 8 years old. And they just said, listen, this is a long movie, but I think you're going to like it, especially the chariot race.
Well,
and they were right. They were right.
That's the thing about it, because while you can look at it as a religious movie, it was also very much an action movie, as opposed to the Ten Commandments, which is, almost documentary in its feel.
Yes, right. Yeah, you're completely. That's a good way of putting it. I think it is. It's not you. And whereas Ben-Hur, you get ships battling, ships sinking.
Yeah, you get an action.
You get some fist fights. Yeah, right. Yeah, you get all of that.
007 before James Bond was born.
That's right, was Ben-Hur. But yeah, Charlton gets to be more. Yeah, be more of an action hero in that one. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, precisely. So,
all right.
Thank you, Art. I'll look for
that.
Tomorrow.
You do that. I'll expect a report back.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And our buddy Rick at the radio station writes a note here. He says, no wristwatches in antiquity. Art can't confirm. Well, you have to ask Dave. If one of us was there, we were both there. I'm not letting him off the hook.
That was harsh by Rick.
Thank you. Yes, I know. All right. Anyway, folks, our lines are open for you. It is an open phone edition, and let us go to the phones. Paul is in a car someplace. Paul, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Doing well. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was listening to the wristwatch comments on the Ten Commandments, and I haven't seen that, but I did see this Tin Man have a handgun in the Wizard of Oz. I was wondering if anybody happened to catch that.
Oh, come on.
No. Yeah, he really does. When the monkeys are attacking him in the woods, if you look real close, the Tin Man's carrying a handgun.
All right, we'll go look for it. Yeah, great. Thanks. All right, Paul.
Yeah, thanks. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye now. Mark is in Bay City. Mark, good morning. Mark?
Good morning, Art. How
Morning.
are you,
Good.
sir?
Very well.
Hey, over in China, it's been a couple months since they've had a free and fair election, and Coca-Cola and Delta gets billions of dollars over from that country. I'm kind of curious why they dipped their toe or planted a flag down in Georgia on the free and fair elections in Georgia. Why do you think they're getting involved in our election, but they don't say anything about China's, the deplorable conditions they have over theirs with how they treat their individuals?
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know. I think they're succumbing to whatever social pressures there are in Georgia. And, that's a question we'd have to ask them. I really can't answer that question. It's a good question, and I can't answer it. I don't know.
Well, nothing's really changed that I know of in Georgia.
No, it really hasn't.
As far as
What's changed is it's now publicized. So in this day and age, the cancel culture and all of that is out there, and everybody wants to tell everybody else how to think and what to do and when to do it. So it just befuddles me.
Well, me as well, and that's why I was asking you.
Yeah, well, we're both befuddled then. All right. Mark, I appreciate the call. Thanks.
Enjoy your day.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Yep, take care.
Got to spend a minute. We have, over the last several months, talked about electric vehicles. As part of my representing the Thalen Auto dealerships in Bay City, I've been given a treat over the next several days. Right now, sitting in my driveway, I have an Audi e-tron. It's the all-electric Audi. And early next week, I'll get to drive a Volkswagen ID4, which is their electric SUV. Other than the fact that I would love a lot more range, there is nothing about this car I don't like. It is impressive, to say the least. Now, the Audi and the Volkswagen are worlds apart in terms of cost. You can get into a Volkswagen for a reasonable price, plus get all the benefits of the tax credit and all of that. The Audi is a much higher priced vehicle, but you get the tax credit and there are discounts. But to drive it is an unbelievable experience. First of all, the dashboard is all electronic. And in the middle of your dash, the driver dash, where you would have your normal dials, it's all electronic. And you can select your dials, but the rest of it, the entire thing, is your GPS. And not just a road map, but a pictorial GTS. You actually see the terrain. It's unbelievable. It is smooth to drive. It is comfortable to drive. It is quick. And again, my only concern, like all electric vehicles right now, is the range. I think this one is good for 250 or something like that miles. And then you charge it. There are two types of charging. There's a long-term charging where you charge it overnight. It takes 8 hours to full charge. And then there's a quick charge. You can get a quick charger for 30 minutes. It'll charge it up. The driving of it is a pleasure. I mean, it is just unbelievable. Are we ready for all electric vehicles all over the highways? No, probably not yet, but they're coming. And these are the forerunners. These are the ones that are going to bring it to us. So I'll let you know the differences in impressions between the Audi, which I have sitting in my driveway, the e-tron, and the ID4 Volkswagen. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I really am looking forward to it. I'm not putting enough miles on it to worry about the range. So it's not going to be an issue for me because I don't have a charging station at home. But the equipment on these cars and the way they handle, it's spectacular. It really is spectacular. All right. I better take a break because the guy holding on the phone, I think I might be related to. We'll be right back. Let me start out by saying it's time to play the WSGW Spring into Cash contest right now. You can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering the following winning word online at WSGW.com. The winning word this hour is leader, Leader. You rise to the top, you become a leader. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. One winner chosen each day. Must be 18 or older to play. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Spring into Cash on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW. To my cousin David in Kansas City, Missouri. Hang on, and we'll be with you in just a couple of moments. We'll be right back.
Bader & Sons Company, your local John Deere dealer, is hiring. With 10 Michigan locations, we are looking for great people to add to our parts, sales, and service teams. If you or someone you know has turf and or agricultural experience or think you might like to learn, please consider working with us. To apply online, click on greentractors.com and go to the Careers tab for an application. Find out more today, and you'll see why we are outstanding in our field.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures rose after the stronger than expected March employment report. Futures have been trading, though the stock markets are closed for Good Friday. The bond markets are open. There were 916,000 new jobs created in March. The unemployment rate declined to 6%. Manufacturing, construction, and retail are among businesses that were hiring. Microsoft says all its 365 services should be up and running today after it resolved an issue that knocked off service for some customers yesterday. The issue included Teams and Azure, and even created an outage on the Xbox system. Say goodbye to travel waivers that allowed you to change or cancel airplane reservations without penalty in the pandemic. USA Today says American, JetBlue, and Frontiers waivers expired on Wednesday. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
Are you taking Cialis or Viagra? Marley Drug has generics of both for just $12 per tablet. That's a savings of $60 per dose. Marley Drug is an independent pharmacy delivering generic Cialis and Viagra to your door for $12 per tablet. Call Marley Drug at 800-513-0570. That's 800-513-0570. Again, 800-513-0570.
I know we did the daylight saving time thing. Can we just call it and just leave it like it is from now on? Just leave it daylight saving time.
Tom Sullivan, weeknights at 7 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. You know, as we grow older, the families begin to shrink because you lose family members over time. And the older you get, the more you treasure the relationships you have in your family. The guy I'm about to talk to is my cousin in Kansas City, Missouri, one of just a couple of cousins left. And probably we've spoken to each other more this year than we have the prior 20. And I say good morning to my cousin in Kansas City, David. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Art. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So what's up, cuz?
Well, you know, all these years that we've known each other, I don't think I've ever listened to you on radio. And I was just thinking about, I got nothing else to do this morning but tune in. And I found that you were talking about the electric cars and other things. And I just thought it was a good time to say hello.
Well, I'm glad you did. David is a retired executive, was vice president of a company that manufactured measuring devices. Was US Tape? What was the name of the company? I forgot.
Yeah, US Tape
US,
Company out
got
of
it right.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
You were with them how many years?
You got it right.
How many years?
Almost 18 years as sales manager.
And you're doing something, and this is interesting, folks. If you ever seen the show American Pickers, you and your wife kind of do something similar, don't you?
Yes. After retirement, my wife, who is a former interior designer, we decided she liked it so much, we got into upcycling vintage furniture, and it's become a full-time job in my retirement. We're called the KC Pickers.
And do you do what they do? Do you travel around?
We travel around the United States. In fact, I'll be delivering some wicker furniture with her to Louisville, Kentucky, a full van full of wicker to a customer there. And that'll be a trip for us. We'll end up buying material on the way back to help pay for the trip.
So how do you find the material? I mean, do you just cold call? You just drive past places?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I think I lost you.
Nope, I got you. Are you there? David?
Hello?
David, are you there?
I think I lost you.
Uh-oh. Call back. Are you there, David? David disappeared. What happened to David? I'm looking at my end. It looks like I'm still there. Well, I don't know. Maybe David, if you're listening on this call, are you there? Whoop.
Yes, I'm here. I couldn't hear it. I don't know if you heard me or not.
I heard you say you couldn't hear me. Yeah, but I could hear you.
I can now.
Good.
All right.
So you were saying I was asking, how do you find these places? I mean, do you just cold call? You drive past some place that looks interesting, or do you know about them ahead of time?
Well, we do a little research, and we end up asking some of the antique shops and flea markets. We tell them what we're looking for, and we ask for some of the places that might fit, that we're looking for things, and then we call them and we plan out our trip that way.
How often do you do it?
Well, of course, with COVID, we didn't do it much at all. We did it very few times, but I would say every couple of months we'll do a trip to refurbish our inventory. We've gone as far as San Diego from Kansas City. We've gone into Texas, and back into Louisville will probably be a good trip for us.
Wow. Sounds like fun. And of course,
it is fun, but it's yeah.
Yeah, David lives in Kansas City, Missouri. And most people in their lifetime will probably never go to Kansas City, Missouri, only because it's not viewed as one of those destination cities. Yet it is one great middle American city. It's a fabulous place, isn't it?
Well, we think so. We had a football team that maybe some people around the country may have fallen in love to, the Kansas City Chiefs. So,
yeah, absolutely. And I don't know how many people realize that Kansas City was the home of the first outdoor mall, Country Club Plaza.
Yes, it was, and we live very close to that, and it's flourishing as well. And I think everything is really good here in Kansas City.
Well, everything's up to date in Kansas City, isn't that the song?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is.
Hey, cousin,
you were talking about. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, you were talking about electric cars, and I got one question for you, and I know you can answer this. I know that I'm for electric cars, but I'm not for driverless electric cars, because I would like the opportunity to be able to avoid a car that I see is completely out of control before my electric car decides to do that. And if there's nobody driving it, I'm not so sure that it's going to be able to avoid somebody that's driving very carelessly. I don't know your opinion on that.
Well, I'm not a big fan of total autonomy. All the cars today, most cars today, come with some form of autonomy. Maybe they have a lane keeping feature. They have collision avoidance. They have all of these little gizmos and gadgets on them. But I am not a favor of driverless cars. That technology is a long way off. Now, we have to remember that the form of transportation that we refer to as driverless cars, that notion has been around a long time. back in the World's Fairs, back in the 30s and 40s, they were talking about wires in roadways that cars would follow. So it's not a new concept, but it is a concept that's come into the forefront because of our digital world that we live in and the electronics that we have created now make it more practical. But until and such time when it becomes 99.9% reliable, I'm not a big fan. And, nothing is perfect because, first of all, they're built by humans and we're not perfect. But I would not be a fan. First of all, like you in many ways, I'm a control freak. I want to be driving a car, not riding in it. That's me.
Right.
I've always been that way. I want to drive. So I think.
Have you ever been Artie, have you ever been in a driverless car though?
I've been in a car that has, as a matter of fact, I drove a Tesla that has the autonomous feature. But my hands were never more than an inch away from the steering wheel. And it was amazing what that car could do. I mean, it was pretty amazing. You flip the turn signal to the left, the car changed lanes for you. It always stayed right dead center in the middle of the lane. It stopped when it was supposed to stop. It was amazing. But I still don't trust it. And
right.
The car I have right now from the Phelan Auto Group that I represent is an Audi e-tron. And it has a lot of those features too. It keeps you in the middle of the lane. It's pretty amazing to drive it. But again, the fun of it is driving it, not sitting there and watching it drive.
That's right. When Tesla first came out and with the driverless, I had the opportunity of riding in a car on Ward Parkway, and you know where Ward Parkway is in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And it took me around the fountain on 63rd Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I was scared to death.
Well, you were riding in it. I'll tell you what, driving it doesn't make you any less scared. A friend of mine owns one.
True.
Friend of mine owns the big one, the original Tesla. And the first thing that scares you is how fast it is. If you put your foot to the floor, it pins you back in the seat and you lose your breath. I mean, you have to catch your breath. It's amazing. But the autonomous feature is wonderful until it doesn't work. And there's been a number of cases where they've crashed into things. We just had one recently here in Michigan where I think one crashed into a state police cruiser.
That's not good.
No, that's not good. Hey, cousin.
You mentioned.
Yeah.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I said, you mentioned the laying of I'm going to call it some type of sensors in the road. Do you think that back many years ago, but do you think that the new administration or the new infrastructure that we're talking about for highways and whatever would take this into consideration and put something into the highways for future, or is that way too off in your opinion?
I don't think they'll need them because the new electronics and the new autonomy devices with artificial intelligence won't need them. They'll be able to handle it themselves. Yeah, they won't need any of that. It'll make it simpler, actually. I mean, it's pretty darn amazing what electronics can do today. I mean, I'm broadcasting at home, and I've been doing it for a year. And in the old days, it would have had to run all kinds of wires outside to a transmitter and van. Now I'm sitting here with a small device on my desk through my Wi-Fi, and you're listening to me in Kansas City, Missouri. So there you go. It's a different world we live in.
And I'm listening to you.
Hey,
you're coming across so clear and all that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad you called, and you can also watch me. This will scare you. You can go to twitch.tv or Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. Look for WSGW Radio because I stream video of me doing the show. So there's one more thing for you.
Hey, let me leave you with this. I mentioned to you, I'm sure you have some baseball fans, right?
Yeah. We carry the Tigers.
Yeah, and I'd love to bring you, I mentioned to you Willie Aikens, a good friend of mine who is with the Kansas City Royals as a coach in retirement now. and I'd love to have your listening fans listen to his stories about baseball.
Let's plan
when
on
you
it.
guys are ready.
We'll plan on it. I'll give you a call.
Yes, we will.
All right, brother.
Yeah, I'll do that. Well, you have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.
Say hello to your bride for me. Thanks a lot. Take care,
I will.
David.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, my cousin David in Kansas City, Missouri. Got to take a quick break to catch up here, and then we will be back with more.
While we've been staying safe at home, scientists have been on a journey. The destination, a COVID-19 vaccine. This journey began decades ago with research into other coronaviruses. Scientists built from there with months of research and development, cooperation with other experts worldwide, and clinical trials on tens of thousands of volunteers of diverse race, age, and health status. They arrived at a safe, effective vaccine, and hundreds of thousands in Michigan have already been vaccinated. But the next step is ours. We need to get the vaccine when we can. Keep wearing masks correctly and taking precautions until we reach our destination, freedom from COVID-19 and getting back to the lives we love. Discover the facts for yourself at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
For most of us, hearing the date of September 11th takes us back to a terrible day in 2001. But for Dr. James Purdue, that date in 1983 changed his life forever.
Then I hear a loud pop, and we both go to the ground. Only one of us returned to our feet.
You'll hear the inspiring story of the professor of perseverance on the next Big Impact. Sunday night at 9 on WSGW.
Sean Hannity, weekdays at 3 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW. Direct from the Stone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, back with you on WSGW. I got a chuckle. I got a text from Mike Goshka, former state senator. Now works for a representative, but Mike, after my interview with David, my cousin, he sent me a text and said, "Nepotism?" ? So I sent him back a text and I said, "Why not?" And he said, "Good point, because after all, I probably learned nepotism from politicians, right?" No, I appreciate it, Mike, and I wish he and his beautiful wife, Marianne, a blessed Good Friday, and to all of you, too. Lines are open for you. Saginaw, Bay City, 752-6111. Toll free, 866-790, WSGW. Remember, yesterday I had talked about the new modified law in Michigan that has to do with appearance tickets for misdemeanors and how it might involve drunk driving. And I asked a legal friend of mine who, let's just say he has a high position in the legal system. We'll leave it there. Pointed out that some of the language in the new law, and he sent me a copy of the law itself. In the first section, section 9C, paragraph 1, says the officer may issue. And he pointed out that words are very important in the law. May issue still gives discretion to the police officer instead of it saying shall issue, which would mandate. But there is a section later on, section 4, does use the word shall, but offers up the exceptions too. So I understand why the police are scratching their head, because the law is complicated. Gene is in Bay City, so let us chat with Gene this morning. Good morning, Gene.
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
And I hope I can explain what I'm saying so everybody will understand. There are a lot of people that have left organized religion and have joined a church where the people just follow the Bible completely.
Unaffiliated.
Without higher authority.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
unaffiliated.
saying?
Absolutely. I do.
Okay.
There are a number of them.
Yes.
And they have big
And
congregations.
there are becoming more. And this is my feeling why this is. And I hope I can explain this. A lot of priests and ministers have put their power and authority actually above God's power and authority.
Ooh.
Now, this is what, now, people are supposed to gather together, and God said he would be in the middle of people in their prayers that are gathered together. Well, when a priest or a minister kicks somebody out of the church, he is defying what God taught. And that's the same thing like with marriage. God made a woman because a man was lonely and he wanted men and women to be married. And then you have priests putting their power and authority against what God taught.
Well, no. Wait a minute now. Are they doing that, or are they simply following the doctrine of the church they represent?
Yes, they're following the doctrine of the church, but they are, the doctrine of the church is putting their authority and power above what God is saying.
Well, they're interpreting what God says a different way than you or I might. That's a different thing, because listen, ask yourself this, all right? If there's only one Bible, why are there so many different religions that have different interpretations of one Bible?
Yes.
So it's,
here's another thing, like Jesus in communion. Now, all people are sinners and fall short of the glory of God, right?
Agreed.
And he told everyone to take communion with the wine and so on. Now, when a minister or priest tells somebody they're no longer allowed to do that, they are going against what Jesus taught.
Well,
because he said everyone, and everyone's a sinner. If you're a sinner, you are still supposed to be taking communion.
Well, what it boils down to is that the doctrine and dogma of the church sometimes get in the way of what we understand the teachings to be, and that may be part of the reason why people are flocking to unaffiliated churches. They're gaining big ground. Gene, I got to go because I got to take a break.
Okay,
But
thanks for listening.
appreciate the call. Thanks, and have a good Friday. Thank you. Bye-bye now. All right, we'll be back with more after these notes.
Spring forward at Banana Republic Factory with 50 to 70% off everything. Shop season favorites from colorful dresses to easy tops from $19.99. Find your nearest store or shop online only at Banana Republic Factory. Enjoy 50 to 70% off almost everything at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com. Shop tees from $6.99 and joggers from $24.99. Plus extra 15% off online. Exclusions apply. Shop the sale through April 6th.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
WSGW is your station for the Tigers. Jones.
The 1-0 to Jacoby. Line drive down the left field line. That's heading toward the corner, and that is one hop up against the wall. Victor Reyes around second, heading to third. They're going to wave him home. In front of the plate, not in time. The Tigers take a 3-0 lead.
Tigers baseball, brought to you in part by
Bader & Sons, Michigan's John Deere dealer.
Your local auto owners agents, including Rummel Agency, Mayan Agency,
and Buck Insurance Agency.
Detroit Tigers baseball is on 790 News Radio WSGW. Now, a WSGW morning team show memorable moment.
I was getting my teeth cleaned yesterday while sitting there, in the hygiene.
Working around.
Yeah, it's all that. I start hearing a Green Day song.
Really?
And I pondered while sitting there. Just thought, when music once considered edgy during my college years is now being played in dentist's office. Now I know I'm getting old.
Yeah, definite sign. The WSGW morning team show.
It could be an ideal day for a round of golf, Charlie.
Oh.
I was scheduled to play in one today, but I'm not entirely over my sciatica that I've been fighting for months, so I won't be participating. But Art's going to do it.
Does he need a caddy?
No, I don't think so. I'm not going to condescend to being Art's caddy.
Yes, there are many things that Dave might have to do in his life. Like caddying for Art Lewis, certainly not one of them.
Memorable moments are made with you. Weekday mornings with Charlie and Dave and Pat. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Friday morning, Good Friday. And to our Christian friends out there, we hope you have a very blessed Easter this Sunday. Looks like the weather is going to be pretty good. Wow, we're going to be in the 60s. Pushing 70 next week. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Very, very good. We have, talked in the past about religion and the decline of organized religion in the country and the decline in belief, too. There is a decline in faith in the country. The organized part, there was a study, a Gallup poll, I think it was just recently, that showed that only 47% of the population of the United States identified with an organized church and attended. And that's down from 70% over a period of years, over a period of decades. Actually, they started taking this kind of a survey back in the 1930s. And it started out that 73% of America was aligned with, affiliated with an organized mainstream religion. And now it has slid not too much over the first decades of the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, began sliding about then, but into the 2000s, it has taken a steep decline so that only 47% of America identifies with an organized church, not just Christian either. I mean, we're talking about Judaism, we're talking about Christianity, we're talking about Muslim, the entire population. There is a growth, and Jean pointed this out, and she's absolutely right. There is a growth in what I like to call non-affiliated We have several of them right around this area. For example, there's Hopevale Church in Saginaw that has a huge congregation, unaffiliated, technically unaffiliated, I guess. Life Church, another one of those. Their affiliations are not with the mainstream religions that we would immediately bring to mind. And they are, for whatever reason, able to attract large audiences, large congregations. But what's different about it? Because I've been, because I went to a number of events at, for example, Hopedale, and heard the pastor speak. And, you know, his message is pretty much the same message that you would hear in most Christian congregations. So what's different about it? Well, for one thing, they're very musically oriented. They have a full band that does a lot of musical prayer service. And the personalities that present are a little bit younger. But other than that, I mean, you know, the message was the message, you know, and it's not much different than you'd hear in any other church. Yet they have been able to attract significantly larger congregations, many of whom have migrated from some of the mainstream churches into a new church home. Something to ponder on this is Good Friday. I mean, you know, all religions are suffering. It's not just the Christianity mainstream religions. It's true in Judaism. Might not be as true for the Muslims because they are really, you know, beginning now to come into their own, and more mosques are built in the country. But it's still, as a national trend, pretty serious negativity, and I think turns up in the moral fiber of the country. So, for what it's worth, anyway, I got to take the last break here. Come back and we'll close out this edition of the Art Lewis Show. Be back with Focus. We'll talk to a urologist from McLaren Bay region. All of that is ahead.
The Saginaw Children's Zoo will be opening for the season on Wednesday, April 21st. Take a wild adventure to the Saginaw Children's Zoo. Say hello to all your feathered, scaly, and furry animal friends and get some much-needed fresh air. The Saginaw Children's Zoo can't wait to see you. Visit SaginawZoo.com for details.
Saginaw Children's Zoo. How do you zoo?
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed is the only bed that effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. The new Queen Sleep Number 360 C4 Smart Bed is only $14.99, plus free premium delivery when you add a base, and Saturday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
The border is in crisis. President Trump secured the border, but Biden is spending $86 million on hotel rooms for migrants. Now, Grant Stinchfield investigates Biden's executive orders and dangerous policies. Watch Stinchfield on Newsmax TV tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern as he reveals the dangers. Find Newsmax TV on all major cable systems or get it free on Roku, YouTube, Zumo, Pluto, and smart TVs. Plus, download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Help protect our border. Watch Newsmax TV's Stinchfield tonight.
Have you heard about Luna's baseball field that existed for Latinos in Saginaw? How about President Biden's crisis at the border? I'm your host, Larry Rodarte, and this week on Mi Gente on Air, we look at the reasons why so many immigrants are coming to America.
Mi Gente on Air, Sunday evenings at 8 on WSGW.
All right, that'll wrap it up for the Art Lewis Show for this Good Friday. And we thank you for being with us. Tomorrow morning, by the way, at 9 o'clock, we're going to welcome Linda Shepard from Pinnacle Realty to talk about buying and selling homes. Right now, it certainly is a seller's market. Coming up, we have CBS News at the top of the hour with the national and international report. Rick Antonio's got the news at 11 to bring you up to date on the Great Lakes Bay region. And then we'll be back with Focus. We'll talk to you right after the news.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Steve Kathan. A sign the economy may be springing back, with word today from the government that employers added 916,000 jobs last month. That's the most in 7 months. White House economic advisor Jared Bernstein.
Over 70% of private sector industries added employment last month. That's robust. Last month we had a strong jobs report, but that was largely in restaurants. Now it's much more widespread.
This comes as the coronavirus is spreading fast again, too. CBS's Cammie McCormick says 40% of counties are now in the red zone.
The lines at vaccination sites are long, but not so at testing sites. So how do we know what the real case numbers are?
I'm certainly concerned about the spike, and there's this growing sense of we're done with this, but we're not.
Dr. Mark Escott of Austin Public Health. The New York Times reports Idaho and Kansas are testing the least, but there is also less testing in the South, making it harder to determine where the pandemic is heading.
Well, the FDA is giving Moderna the okay to make 2 changes to its COVID vaccine, and that can mean extra doses from each vial. At the Derek Chauvin murder trial resuming again today, the former police colleague, Sergeant John Edwards, is testifying. Yesterday, a supervisor indicated officers restraining George Floyd should have eased up earlier. Overseas, rescue attempts today in Taiwan. At the scene of a train wreck that killed at least 51 people. BBC correspondent Cindy Sue says a truck rolled onto the track just before impact.
Images on TV show rescue workers cutting the mango train carriages to reach trapped passengers, while mobile phone footage shared by survivors shows them using the flashlight on their phone to escape.
Well, the president's son, Hunter Biden, admits the laptop that turned up in a Delaware repair shop in 2019 might be his. It became a campaign issue last year as Republicans honed in on his dealings with Ukraine.
So it could have been yours. Of course, certainly. There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me. There could be that I was hacked. It could be that it was Russian intelligence. It could be that it was stolen from me.
Biden was interviewed for CBS's Sunday Morning. An end-of-life specialist has a dose of advice for medical students. CBS's Jim Krasula says the message is, read Shakespeare.
Dr. David Jeffrey of the University of Edinburgh in Scotland says the plays may be a creative way to teach medical students empathy. The doctor says the pandemic has created new challenges for doctors to connect emotionally with their patients.
Financial markets are closed today for the Good Friday holiday. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
Your day starts before the sun rises. Once your boots hit the ground, you head out to a field, a barn, or a tractor. As stewards of the land, you know anything worth doing is worth doing right. At Farm Bureau Insurance, we've always believed in and practiced this same philosophy. From heaving bales and weaning calves to spring seeding and fall harvests, it's all about an honest day's work. Knowing your insurance provider is rooted in Michigan offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, The experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Find your coverage in Vassar, Millington, and Mayville. Call Denny Miller at 989-823-8493.
The border is in crisis. President Trump secured the border, but Biden is spending $86 million on hotel rooms for migrants. Now, Grant Stinchfield investigates Biden's executive orders and dangerous policies. Watch Stinchfield on Newsmax TV tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern as he reveals the dangers. Find Newsmax TV on all major cable systems or get it free on Roku, YouTube, Xumo, Pluto, and smart TVs. Plus, download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Help protect our border. Watch Newsmax TV's Stinchfield tonight.
It's been a challenging year, and Consumers Energy knows asking for help can be hard, but finding it doesn't have to be. If you need help with your energy and other bills, call 211 or visit mi211.org for access to the help you need.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny sky, 33 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Rick Antonio. A popular township official in Saginaw County has passed away unexpectedly. Tittabawassee Township officials released a statement this morning announcing the death of Rick Hayes. The Facebook post said, "It is with profound sadness that we share with our great township of the recent passing of our beloved township supervisor and leader, Rick Hayes. Rick has been a vital part of the township for decades. His tremendous love and dedication for this community will forever be in his legacy. On behalf of the entire township, we thank Rick for his many years of service and extend our deepest sympathies to his family." Hayes owned a used car business in Freeland and was a spark plug in many events and activities in Freeland, including the annual Freeland Walleye Festival. Funeral arrangements are incomplete at this time. Several fire departments battled a large fire last night in downtown Owasso. The fire began around 9:15 p.m. along West Comstock Street between South Washington and Ball Streets. The heaviest fire was concentrated in a vacant two-story building that housed the former Jumbo's Burger Bar. No one was inside the building. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Michigan has reported the state's first confirmed case of the Brazilian coronavirus variant. Lynn Sutphin, a spokesperson for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, says a Bay County resident was found to be infected with the P1 variant.
They're investigating the person's exposure history, and they're attempting to identify, the source of this infection. They'll also confirm that they've, completed the appropriate isolation measures, and then obviously recontacting identified contacts and requiring them to do a full 14-day quarantine period.
The variant appears to be more contagious than other strains, and there are concerns it might affect both vaccine-induced and natural immunity. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. U.S. Congressman Dan Kildee stopped by the Delta College drive-through vaccine clinic yesterday afternoon. The visit comes after one at the Flint Bishop International Airport Clinic earlier this week, both intended as a way to learn of how each area is faring with distribution and share how the American Rescue Plan will help increase COVID-19 vaccine distribution. Bay County Health Officer Joel Strauss told Kildee that by running clinics through Delta, the health department has been able to quickly and effectively distribute available doses.
We think that we can run a capacity of 1,000 people. We're able to leverage the support from the nursing program here and other staff through Delta College. We've had the National Guard come here and run a pretty intensive weekend vaccination clinic, and it's just a good thing that we're able to service the needs of the community.
Kildee says the $20 billion provided by the American Rescue Plan aims to significantly increase vaccine production and fund and expand state and local efforts to support clinics by covering costs affiliated with operation. Springtime means getting outside for a variety of projects, many of which require digging. WSGW's Michael Percha reports.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer has issued a proclamation marking April as Safe Digging Month. Governor Whitmer, the Michigan Public Service Commission, and Miss Dig 811, the state's underground utility locator, urge all residents to call 811 at least 3 business days before digging to ensure underground utilities aren't damaged, leading to dangerous and potentially deadly consequences, no matter the size of an excavation project. Trained workers from utility companies will be sent to job sites to mark the locations of utilities with spray paint or flags. Anyone planning to dig is asked not to do so until utilities are marked and to carefully dig by hand in the designated utility area. Visit missdig.org for more information. Michael Percha, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 33 degrees at 11:10. I'm Rick Antonio.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures this afternoon warming to the mid-40s. West-northwest winds light around 5. Gradually increasing cloud cover for tonight, 31 degrees for your low. We're warmer on Saturday, upper 50s, while partly sunny skies and southwest winds still gusting in the 20s. Clear Saturday night, low of 37, 63 on Sunday, beautiful, lots of sunshine. Partly sunny skies on Monday, 62 degrees for your high. At a high of 66 Tuesday, chance for rain ending early and partly sunny skies. I'm meteorologist Mandy Faluber with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, 33 degrees.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is brought to you by Northeastern Paint Home Decorating Centers in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply, serving you since 1959.
And welcome to another edition of Focus here on WSGW. As we do every month, we get to chat with a doctor from McLaren Bay. And this is no exception this morning. We say good morning to Dr. Glenn Kirshen. He is a urologist at McLaren Bay. Dr. Kirshen, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for
Thank
joining
you for
us.
having me.
You're welcome. I guess we need to start with maybe an overview of urology and what it is. What is this specialty?
Urology is a very unique field. We deal with any type of urinary issues, from leakage, men, women, due to stress incontinence, urgent incontinence where you can't get to the bathroom quick enough. We deal with various types of malignancies that involve the kidney and the bladder and wherever urine touches. We deal with problems with kidney stones. We do a lot of evaluations for people that have just a barrage of problems with bleeding and infections. It's kind of a very involved field that people often don't know about.
Dr. Kirshen, is it a surgical practice?
Yes. Yeah, people don't realize that probably about 30% or more of our time is spent in the operating room.
What are the more common? What are the more common problems?
I'd say probably one of the biggest things we see is gentlemen as we get older and we have trouble urinating. That's probably one of the
Yep.
biggest issues in our practice.
At 78 years old, I recognize that.
No, not you.
Well, you know what's interesting though, throughout my life, I mean, anytime I had a digital exam, I've been told by all my doctors over the years that I have what they called a generous prostate, and I had no idea what they meant by that.
It's funny. From puberty until death, our prostate grows. And as we reach a certain point in our life, the growth starts causing symptoms. And the symptoms generally start with a little slowing of the stream, waking up at night where you normally didn't. The stream can be stop and start. You may have to double void, which means you go to the bathroom, you walk away and say, gee, I got to go again. Many times you make as much as you did the first time.
I recognize that.
And then, it's fairly common. And it's also a bit insidious. It means that we get older, we kind of expect that that's normal. We forget what normal is until it really starts interfering in the quality of our life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's all kinds of advertising for this drug and that drug to shrink your prostate and anything like it. I mean, is it reality? Can we shrink our prostates?
I would say that, there's two things that cause problems with urination. One is the bulk size of the prostate, and one is it sort of increases tone. It kind of squeezes on the urethra. And the first thing we always do with people is we try to be as hands-off as possible. So we try medications that can either shrink the prostate or, importantly, stop it from squeezing on the urethra. And the combination of two usually work well. The problem is that with time, these medications often lose efficacy. They don't work as well anymore because the problem has kind of gone beyond the ability of the medicines to do its job. And then we've always looked at what else can we do to help the person. And there's always been a number of things out there. One of the most common treatments have been something called a TURP. It's TURP, and it stands for transurethral resection of the prostate, which has always been the gold standard. It's basically looking into the bladder with a scope. There's no cutting in that respect, but you use a thing that kind of shaves out the prostate, and it uses heat energy to do this. And it's very effective, and it works well. Always issues with that is afterwards, because you're using heat, you get a lot of burning and discomfort and potential for scarring. Anytime you use heat, there's scarring. And over the years, I've been in practice for over 20 years, there's been a lot of new technology, and often it falls by the wayside. And I'm often not the first guy to try new things. And just within the last year or longer, there's been a technology out. It's actually been out longer than that. And it's called aquablation. And aqua's water. And basically, it's the first minimally invasive treatment. And it works by using, a robot where with the person asleep, you're looking at the prostate visually. You're also looking at the prostate with an ultrasound. And you're able to map out where the area of obstruction is. And instead of using heat energy like you do with a TURP, it does the same job, but it uses high-pressure water, and it's controlled by a computer. And it really does an amazing job in removing the obstructing tissue without heat. And it's less uncomfortable, and the results are equal, and there's also less potential for sexual dysfunction. So it's really a plus all around. And I'm kind of proud to say I think we're one of the first places in Michigan to have it.
Hang on,
I appreciate the.
Yeah, I'm going to get you to hang on because I've got to take a break here. We'll come back and talk more about it. We are talking to Dr. Glenn Kirshen. He is a urologist with McLaren Bay. More coming up on this edition of Focus. Let me see if we give away some money here. It's time to play the WSGW Spring into Cash contest right now. You can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering the following winning word online at WSGW.com. Winning word this hour is voice, VOICE. You're listening to my voice. This is an Alpha Media company-wide contest. One winner chosen each day. Must be 18 or older to play. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Spring into cash on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW. More ahead when we return after these notes.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center. We're more than a custom paint store. We have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. With quality and satisfaction guaranteed. Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years, Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Benjamin Moore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, Quazell and Kitchener Lighting, Flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas logs, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof. Northeastern Paint Supply, Saginaw and Bay City.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Wearing a mask is more than protection. It's a bridge to better days. The path back to celebrations with family. Nights out on the town with friends. Game days with your favorite sports teams. And the thrill of live concerts. But until we can all get the COVID-19 vaccine and build community immunity, which will take time, we all need to continue to stay careful. Because Michigan's recovery is depending on you, and so are your family, friends, and neighbors. So even after you're vaccinated, wear a mask, avoid large gatherings, and social distance. One day in the near future, we will all be able to put this pandemic behind us. But until then, spread hope, not COVID. Learn more at michigan.gov/coronavirus. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Have you found yourself looking around your house and, wishing?
Wish we had a pool. Wish I didn't share my office with a washer and dryer.
Wish we could have a real master bathroom. Lightstream can make your wishes a reality with a fixed-rate home improvement loan. With Lightstream, you'll get rates as low as 3.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit. Go to lightstream.com/easy today, and radio listeners can get an additional interest rate discount. The application takes minutes online with no appraisals, no fees, and no home equity required. Make your home the home you wished for. Apply today at lightstream.com/easy and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/easy for an additional discount. Lightstream.com/EASY.
Subject to credit approval. Rate range from 3.99% APR to 16.49% APR and included 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/easy for more information. Equal housing lender.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Connect with your favorite radio shows through contests, social media, and podcasts. Create custom alarms with your favorite radio stations, all free with the radio.com app.
On air and online from the Stone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Back with you on Focus, talking to Dr. Glenn Kirshen, a urologist from McLaren Bay. Doctor, let's talk about the aquablation at the end. Is the recovery any faster? The discomfort any less?
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things, is that because we're not using heat to remove tissue, there's less pain, there's less discomfort. People return to normal function quicker. And so it's a plus all the way around. The actual procedure is actually relatively quick in the OR. It definitely has a lot of advantages over the prior ways we've done things. The nice thing is, because we're not using heat, we decrease risk for scarring, and scarring can always cause problems, which we're all aware of. So it's something that's, it's very exciting, and we're actually one of the first places in Michigan to get it going, actually in the country.
What would be the symptoms to an individual that they might be a candidate for aquablation?
That's a great question. Usually the people that we choose for any type of procedure is one that's either fails medical therapy, it's not working any longer, it wasn't effective to begin with. Some people, medicine just never works on. Another group of people is where they can't tolerate the drugs. Like everybody's aware of, a lot of medications have side effects. And one of the main side effects of these medications, it can cause lightheadedness. It can range from just feeling lightheaded when you bend down to tie your shoes. If you stand up, some people actually passed out. So these people clearly can't be on medical therapy, and those are the ones we go straight through something procedural. To others that have been on medical therapy and then start to fail. So really anybody has symptoms that either medicines aren't treating or they can't tolerate it.
Mm-hmm. One other question, a slightly different topic. How important is the PSA test? Is it still as important as it's been?
I think it's very important. I know there's been a lot of controversy over it. The biggest thing in medicine is judgment. It's not just looking at the number, but looking at trends, looking at the patient, the age, realizing that a person who's 78, like yourself, may have expectedly a normal higher PSA than a guy who's 58. And so you have to not only use the lab value, but your judgment and your physical exam. If you use a combination of all, it's very effective. If you just use straight lab work and numbers, you're gonna probably over-test, over-treat, and so on. Big thing is we don't want to over-test people. And it really comes with experience of the physician treating you. But I think the PSA is very, very effective. It's a great tool to use. But like everything else in medicine, you need judgment. You need somebody who's done a lot of it and somebody who's actually has some perspective on it.
That's interesting because my personal physician suggested that on my next regular physical, I don't get a PSA. Instead, I go to a urologist to get a PSA because he said, quite frankly, I'm not trained enough to judge the number.
Yeah, and I think that's reasonable. We generally feel that at 75, if your PSAs have been low and your exam is normal, you probably don't need them anymore. And so it really depends. And also depends on the general health of a person. If a person has severe cardiac issues, of hearts problems, and they have bigger problems in their life, and that's another reason you don't want to over pursue or treat something that may not ultimately interfere in your life. So again, it comes down to judgment. But I agree with your physician.
And do folks normally need a referral to come see you?
Generally not. I'd say the bulk of our work, comes from referring physicians. And I take a lot of pride in that personally because that means we're taking good care of their people. But I do get a lot of people coming to me from friends that I've treated and nurses and so on.
Well, Dr. Kirshen, I want to thank you for spending a little time with us this morning. It's fascinating. We'll have to do this again. Talk more about
pleasure.
it.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye-bye now. Dr. Glenn Kirshen, urologist with McLaren Bay. We thank him for being with us. And we'll be back to find out what's happening in the marketplaces after these notes.
Oh, wow. I love what you've done to your kitchen.
Thanks. We did new countertops and a new sink and faucet.
Oh, it looks great. Did you do all the work yourself?
Oh, no. We worked with the remodeling department at Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. They helped us select the right choice for us from their wide selection of countertop material, and we love it. We shopped around, too. Reamer had the best selection and the best pricing.
So, what's your next project?
Well, since we love our new kitchen, we plan to do the bathroom next.
Oh, wow.
This time, we'll go straight to Reamer. You should see all the new things they have for the bathroom.
Visit the showroom at Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to see countertop displays of Cambria quartz and Corian, kitchen sinks made of Corian, stainless steel, quartz, swanstone, and cast iron, plus a large display of kitchen faucets from several manufacturers. One is perfect for your lifestyle and budget. Shop local. Shop Reamer. Go to reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality. RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Frankenmuth Aerial Park. You were going to get a pass for only $19.50. It's usually $39. You are getting it half off. It includes a 2-hour weekday or weekend session. And if you've never been to the Frankenmuth Aerial Park, they have something for everyone. Something fun and new to try. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Your nose is the body's air filter, the first line of defense against airborne allergens, bacteria, and viruses. You wash your hands to protect your health. Now you can clean your nose with Navage. Online at Navage.com. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robbins show,
it's the Friday Five. We'll be making fools out of ourselves more than usual. And you thought that was impossible.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. The Focus Show on WSGW. Brought to you by Northeastern Paint Supply in Saginaw and Bay City. For all your home decorating needs, trust Northeastern Paint Supply. Serving you since 1959.
All right, we're back with you. Ending the Focus show. I'm not sure if Steve is available or not this morning because of Good Friday. So we will, if he is, he will have a conversation with Terry. Otherwise, we move on. And Terry Henney's Farm Show will be next here on WSGW. We'll talk to you tomorrow about buying and selling homes with Linda Shepard from Pinnacle Realty. Talk to you then. Bye-bye now.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Receive a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen temporal scanner purchased at any retailer. With COVID continuing to spread, nothing matters more than having an accurate thermometer that's backed by more than 80 published peer-reviewed clinical studies, like the Exergen temporal scanner. Even after getting the COVID vaccine, you should be monitoring for fever to make sure you are protected. Keep your family and yourself safe by trading up your non-contact thermometer for an accurate temporal scanner and a $5 rebate from Exergen, where accuracy matters. Details at Exergen.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
The WSGW Morning Team Show with Charlie, Dave, and Pat, keeping you connected around the clock. Weekdays 5:30 to 9, 100.5 and 7.
Sonny, good morning to each and every one of you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. It's a beauty out there. A little bit on the cool side, but hey, there's no wind to contend with, so that does make it very nice. Variable breeze under 5 miles per hour, 34 degrees at the airport, 34 here at Radio Center. Downtown Midland, a little bit warmer, 35. Downtown Bay City, a little bit cooler. They're currently at 33. 30.55 and steady is the barometric pressure. We have a high pressure system literally right overhead, and that high is going to be drifting ever so slowly to the south and the east over the next 24 to 36 hours. So eventually it is going to be pulling some much warmer air up at us. A little bit of a breeze too. Tonight, it'll be coming out of the south at about 10 miles per hour. As I said, right now, it's variable. Then tomorrow, southwest, picking up a little bit, 15, 18 miles per hour, but that's okay. We're going to be looking at 60 degrees with partly cloudy skies, especially as the day goes on. We're going to have a few clouds move in after midnight tonight. And then the early morning hours tomorrow morning, you might not see a sunrise tomorrow morning, but I think the cloud cover isn't going to be, it doesn't appear to be that thick as we go into the early morning hours tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy, 60 for a high tomorrow, 37 for a low tomorrow night. Then on Sunday, 66, so a little bit warmer. Sunshine, we'll see a few clouds around a little bit later on in the day on Sunday because the wind, now Saturday night, it'll change from the southwest coming out of the northwest, what about 10 miles per hour? That's because we're going to have a very weak low pressure system that's going to be crossing Lake Superior areas to the north. There is going to be a warm front ahead of that low, and then a very weak cold front. It's not going to affect the temperatures all that much. It's just going to change the wind direction. So tomorrow night, northwest breeze about 10 miles per hour, and that's why we're going to see an increase in the clouds. But during the day on Sunday, looks to be mostly sunny skies, a few clouds moving in late in the day on Sunday. Sunday evening, the clouds will thicken up a little bit, but we're only going to drop down to about 44 degrees for a low after a sunny day on Easter Sunday. Then on Monday, partly cloudy skies, a little cooler, 63 for a high on Monday. Clouds will be moving in. Then we'll have a little bit better chance of seeing some precipitation around late Monday night and during the day on Tuesday morning. Clouds around on Tuesday, becoming partly cloudy as we go through the day, warming up now. After a high on Monday of about 62, our high on Tuesday will be 66. On Wednesday, 66. We're going to have a chance, once again, of seeing some light rain showers around. And it'll also spill over into the day on Thursday with a chance of some shower activity later in the afternoon on Thursday. But again, these chances of precipitation widely scattered, not a whole lot of ground coverage. Temperatures, though, are the key because we are going to be staying in the 60s pretty much all week next week. Obviously, above average temperatures, and those will continue all the way through the 15th of the month. Below average on the moisture. So that would indicate that even though we do have some clouds and a chance of some precipitation, that rain is really not going to amount, at least it appears right now, to a whole lot. Cold this morning. It was chilly. We had a reported low of right around 23 degrees. Washington, D.C., they finally cooled down a little bit. It's 20 there. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania was 17. Buffalo, New York, 16. They're digging out from all the snow that they picked up. Not so much in Buffalo as they did in northern sections of New York State and over into the New England states. They not only dug out just to the north of Boston, but they chilled down in Boston overnight. 16 was the low. New York City, 17. A number of cities and towns in New Hampshire, single digits. And in northern New York State, just above the freezing mark. That's where they were overnight. Raleigh, North Carolina, 21. Nashville, 13 degrees. last night. Memphis, 25. Jacksonville, Mississippi, 29. Mobile, Alabama, you're talking right on the Gulf, not too far away from Pensacola. That whole stretch, that Golden Coast, where a lot of folks like to go this time of the year. Mobile was 33. Pensacola was 36. Columbia, South Carolina, in the same state anyway as Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, it was 38 degrees this morning there. Columbia, South Carolina dropped down to 26. So the chilly air, yep, it was around. Looks as though, as I said, things are going to begin to warm up here just a little bit. And the month of April continues to be very optimistically warm as far as our temperatures go. Unfortunately, for some that would like some precipitation, it doesn't really look like it's going to be a very wet month at all, totally contrary to what we had a year ago. And we mentioned this yesterday, not only today, but also tomorrow, the 2 days together. Back in 1975, we had just under 14 and a half inches of snow here in the Great Lakes Bay region. That was officially at the airport. Record high in the state is 82. That was set back in 2010. The record low, 15. That was set in 1954. A year ago, 62 is our high. 35 was our low. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Gary Kaufman is standing by over at Star of the West, taking a deep breath after a rather crazy 4 days as far as the Board of Trade was concerned. We're going to talk a little bit about those grain prices and the net result as we take a look at it on a quiet Good Friday as far as trading is concerned. But everything will kick back up again on Monday. Gary comes along in a moment. But again, we want to remind you, the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound-up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Tri-County Equipment. Start early on your to-do list with a compact tractor from Tri-County and save. They've got a Yardmaster package with that 1025R tractor, where you're going to get some really nice implements along with the tractor and a really good price, 0% for 60 months financing. That does include not only the tractor, but also the 120R loader, the 60-inch Auto Connect mower deck. And as I said, you're going to save a whole lot of money too with some pretty good offers. They have a lot of tractor packages available right now. Plus, you can hit the ground running with a new John Deere lawn tractor or zero-turn mower. Just check them out today at all of the locations of Tri-County Equipment. Remember, when you're talking John Deere in Michigan's Thumb as well as Saginaw, Reese, and Birch Run, you are talking Tri-County Equipment, working harder, doing more. Along with me, Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. Gary, we've had some crazy weeks in the years that I've been talking to you, but this one takes the cake.
Oh, yeah, it sure does, Terry. I kind of look back here. Soybean futures experienced the largest single-day rally since 2016. And if it weren't for trade limits, we'd have been up higher, Terry. But yeah, we kind of righted the ship here yesterday a little bit. We didn't go limit up, but the cash market was down, but the new crop was up, and the primary reason was that because of the acreage report that we got out on Wednesday.
Now, a lot of folks are talking about that acreage report, but we had another report too, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a stocks report too, and actually. the stocks report was a little bit negative on the beans. They came in about 27 million bushel above the average trade guess, and we were going into this report, we were talking about stocks, and thinking that was the key because the demand was pretty big and stocks were pretty tight. But as we move forward, the stocks are, again, going to resurface here because with the reduced acreage that potentially is supposed to go in the ground here across the country, those stocks will continue to get tighter as we move forward. So.
And again, we talked about yesterday with a few of the folks, a couple of crops that aren't traded on a regular basis on the Board of Trade, sugar beets and dry beans. And both of those, we're looking at decreased plantings so far. So, I'm trying to fit all this into the equation. And where the acreage decrease is with those, I'm not seeing the increase in the corn or the soybeans. So where's it going?
Yeah, that's the big question that many are asking. If you look at the combined principal crop areas, if you look at through history or since 2017, these total acres, whether you talk sugar beets, dry beans, corn, sorghum, barley, oats, wheat, rye, rice, peanuts, sunflowers, canola, all those things. As a total, if you look at all those combined acres, we're missing some acres someplace for sure. And, this year is kind of setting up. We were talking with some folks the other day after the acreage report came out. Wheat is going to be pretty early harvested this year across the country. So we're going to see some double cropping going on in the wheat arena, potentially even in Michigan. We've had some pretty large double crop after wheat harvest here in some of the recent years. But yeah, it's, we're going to pick up some more acres and for sure. I mean, if you look back, you look at double crop acres, the biggest double crop soybean year was in 2008 at 7.1 million acres. And then 2013, we were at almost 7 million acres. And last year, double crop was 3.8 million acres. So again, if you take this acreage report from Wednesday, Terry, and you start figuring in some of these potential double crop for beans, we could pick up 5 million acres real quick here this year, potentially.
Now, you folks obviously keep a real sharp eye on wheat because of the milling operation and everything that Star of the West is involved with. Early harvest, is that usually a good thing as far as wheat is concerned?
Well, I think as long as I've been here, and it's been a few years, we had the earliest harvest date that I can remember in the last 25 years is about June 30th. It's always say, hey, are we going to get 4th of July off? Or are we going to be working 4th of July? It always teeters around that. And some of the old timers, they kind of look at the moons to kind of dictate harvest, whether the moons line up right. And part of the reason we have an early harvest this year, I guess, is based on the moons from what I hear, but I'm not going to go into detail because I don't actually get that totally, but that's what some folks look at, Terry. So.
No, I'm telling you, my grandfather firmly believed it, and I never had a chance to really ask him what he meant by all that. But I guess it's kind of a historical thing. A lot of these guys wrote down on a piece of paper in a spiral notebook, whatever, what they did from year to year and what the conditions were like from year to year. And actually, I think some of the record keeping that those guys did years ago was state of the art. I mean, they had everything right down. They knew exactly all of the things that caused things to happen. And I don't know, they paid a lot of attention to the moon, the different phases of the moon. And obviously certain times of the year when we got the first thunder shower. I mean, to this day, I still remember my grandfather telling me that he never wanted to put a sugar beet in the ground until after the first thunder shower. And I don't know if that necessarily holds true today or not, but they paid a lot of attention to that.
Yeah, interesting. And moving forward, weather is going to be the key, Terry. We got to have timely rains. It doesn't matter what commodity you're talking about. A lot of this drought map that we're monitoring continuously. It's getting pretty dry in some areas, so it's gonna, weather's gonna, as we always say, weather's gonna be the final trump card as we move forward for sure. So.
It sure will. You take care, Gary. You and your family and everybody there at Star of the West. Happy Easter, all right?
Yep. Thank you, Terry. And the same to you. Happy Easter to you and all your staff at WSGW as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. The Market Report has been brought to you by the folks at Schaefer and Beerline. If you're looking for a new Ram commercial truck or van, get it from a dealer that's been around since 1852. That's Schaefer and Beerline in Frankenmuth. They know trucks and vans. Buy with confidence from a dealer where family and service sells cars. They are the Great Lakes Bay Area's certified ag dealer, Schaefer and Beerline. And by the folks at Ed Raymond & Sons, quality clothing and shoes since 1919. Talking Carhartts, talking Red Wing shoes and boots, talking Stormy Cromer accessories. You are talking Ed Raymond & Sons. And don't forget, you get 20 to 25% off the retail price every day. Special orders are included. When you work with the folks at Ed Raymond & Sons, celebrating more than 100 years, 151 West Broad Street in Chesaning, they are open 7 days, and they wish each and every one of you a very happy Easter. We'll be right back.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in, like #1 selling Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, Z Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Visit your local Kubota dealer for a demo today. Get a great deal on Kubota utility tractors. Our powerful, versatile lineup is built to do it all. So whether you need to mow, rake, stack, lift, or pull, get it done right with a Kubota utility tractor. Right now, get a Kubota utility tractor for 0 down and 0% APR, plus save up to $1,000. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Kim Weiss at Lingle Equipment, 3001 Sawyer Drive along I-75 at the M81 Carroll exit just south of the Zilwaukee Bridge, Saginaw. Call Kim today at 989-754-7801 or email at k.weiss@lingle1.com.
Along with me, Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. Keith, Craig, well, I tell you, I've got about 5 people on hold, and I've been fielding messages here all morning. There's a lot of people out there that are really interested in this weather for the next 30 days, Craig. And the one thing that they're asking me, are we going to get any more of those wind storms? And I thought, well, I know the fella to talk to when it comes to that. I don't know about predicting them, but I do know that the damage that occurs with a lot of these windstorms. We've had plenty of it so far, haven't we?
We certainly have, Terry. I've got a few trees down on the ground in my little neighborhood here. And yeah, I'm no good at predicting them, so I'm not even going to try. But when we do get them, and I suspect we'll get some more, especially when they happen on the weekends, folks kind of wonder what they need to do, whether they have damage to their home or a barn or a pole barn or something. We all have cameras now. So, the old way of thinking is I can't do anything until the insurance company comes out here and takes a look. But if you have a leak or something that's, ongoing and causing more damage, by all means, take action and do temporary repairs. Just photograph it as you go along, and you won't have any issue when it comes time to turn the claim in.
Now, you're talking not only cameras that are held by hand, but a lot of folks do have security cameras. So it captures a lot of the damage and the damage being done at the time.
That is correct, Terry. We have had actually some videos sent to us of, hey, here's what happened. And, the folks maybe weren't even home when it happened, but the security camera caught it. So whether it's cell phone, old school camera or whatever it takes, just photograph it as you go along and don't be afraid to take action to save your property from further damage. That's perfectly okay.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Let's say you've got the tree limb and it's down on the roof and you've got other trees that are leaning before you or an agent can get out there. Preventative, where you start cutting some of that stuff away so you don't have any more damage. Is that permissible?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And, one of the things within the policy says that, we're supposed to take action to slow or stop any further damage. So, yeah, that's exactly what we should be doing at that point in time.
All right. Good advice. For more information, any more questions, they can get a hold of you. How do they do that? How do they do that, Craig?
Well, they can give me a call, Terry, at 800-572-0939, and they can go to rummelinsurance.com and send me an email from there if they prefer to do that.
All righty. Happy Easter, Craig. Take care.
Happy Easter, Terry. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig Voorhees with the Rummel Agency. And yes, Keith, Doug, and Andy, we're not anticipating any more major windstorms here in the month of April, simply because we're not really anticipating a very stormy jet stream. But obviously, you can't predict whether you're going to have a thunderstorm or not. And embedded with each and every thunderstorm, you got the chance of a strong wind gust. So hopefully we've been able to answer a question or two that you folks might have. And if you do have questions and you are watching us on our farm cam, you can just type in your question or your comment. And if we have time, we'll field that question. We'll be right back.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center. We're more than a custom paint store. We have everything you need. From carpet to lighting, it's all here. With quality and satisfaction guaranteed. Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Since 1959, count them, that's 62 years, Northeastern Paint Supply has been serving the Tri-Cities. We have the most knowledgeable staff in the area, offering you the highest quality products in the industry. Benjamin Moore Paints, Hunter Douglas Blinds, Quazell and Kitchener Lighting, Flooring from Flooring America, fireplace doors, gas logs, and custom-made rugs. It's all here under one roof. Northeastern Paint Supply, Saginaw and Bay City.
Northeastern Paint, Home Decoration Center.
Along with me, Chuck Cervinsky from Maple Hill Nursery over in Midland. Chuck, with this weather and, of course, with the Easter holiday here, it is a little early, but the weather is early this year, and I think some folks are ready to wake up the lawn. What do you think?
Definitely. With this weather that we've got coming now and through next week, it's time to get our spring cleanups done to our yards, and you want to start with dethatching or raking the lawn. This is sometimes overlooked, but it's really important to get the dead grass and thatch out of the lawn before our period of spring growth begins. And it promotes good health. It allows sunlight, air, and nutrients to reach the soil, particularly fertilizers and pre-emergent crabgrass killers that we're going to be applying in the coming weeks.
So right now, as I understand it, we do have a little bit of an issue with grubs?
Yeah, we're starting to get some calls on grubs here and there, and it's really important that you get those taken care of as early as you can. And when you control them, you want to make sure that you use a product that coincides with the life cycle of the grub to be effective, meaning certain products are not going to be effective earlier on and maybe be more effective later on. So you have to get your timing right on that.
All right. Now, as far as cleaning out the beds, the shrubs where you've got leaves and all sorts of debris out there, those are breeding grounds for bugs, aren't they?
Definitely. Not only bugs, but a lot of our different fungal diseases. If you don't get those out, sometimes those leaves can decompose and put that stuff back into the soil. And then, of course, it gets into the plants, and then you've got a mess later on. So it's really important to get rid of that stuff before you freshen up your mulch in your bed areas.
That's the other thing, freshening up the mulch. Good idea?
Yes, it is. It does a couple of things. It helps keep the weeds down, and it also helps retain valuable moisture that the plants are going to need this spring as they get going.
Chuck Cervinsky, you take care. Have a great holiday. I know you'll be closed on Easter, but Saturdays, what are your regular hours?
We'll be here Saturdays, 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. We're here now until 6 o'clock.
All righty. Take care. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Chuck Cervinsky.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
Farm Service has been brought to you today by the folks at Thumb Bank and Trust, serving the needs of local farmers for more than 125 years. 2 locations in Bay City, also Cass City, Caseville, Pigeon, and Bad Axe. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. Back at 12:30 with an update. Now we join radio stations all across the country by playing our national anthem.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
Steve Kafin. The government's just updated travel guidance as coronavirus cases rise and more people get vaccinated. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick.
The CDC says fully vaccinated